In a major airstrike in Kabul, U.S. has killed al-Qaeda chief al-Zawahiri. The strike to eliminate al-Zawahiri was carried out on Saturday, Biden said, underlining that no family members of slain terrorists were harmed during the operation. Al-Zawahiri was killed in a drone strike when he came outside on the balcony of house in Kabul, Afghanistan, and apparently lingered there, as U.S. intelligence had noted he often did. Zawahiri was the plotter of 9/11 attack and key ideologue behind the global terror network for decades. Al-Qaeda leader Zawahiri was killed in Shipur neighborhood of Kabul, walking distance away from U.S. Embassy complex. Biden and top U.S. leadership have hailed the airstrike, calling it justice for victims killed in 9/11 attack. Taliban, however, has condemned an airstrike on its soil, calling it violation of Doha Agreement.
On Saturday, at my direction, the United States successfully concluded an airstrike in Kabul, Afghanistan, that killed the emir of al-Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri. You know, Zawahiri was bin Laden's leader. He was with him the whole time. He was his #2 man, his deputy at the time the terrorist attack of 9/11. He was deeply involved in the planning of 9/11. One of the most responsible for the attacks that murdered 2,977 people on American soil. For decades, he was the mastermind behind attacks against Americans, including the bombing of the USS Cole in 2000, which killed 17 American sailors and wounded dozens more. He played a key role in the bombing of U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania, killing 224 and wounding over 4,500 others. Justice has been delivered, and this terrorist leader is no more. People around the world no longer need to fear the vicious and determined killer. The United States continues to demonstrate our resolve and our capacity to defend the American people against those who seek to do us harm. You know, we make it clear again tonight that no matter how long it takes, no matter where you hide, if you are a threat to our people, the United States will find you and take you out.
My colleague Sneha Mordani elaborates on location of the safe house where al-Zawahiri was hiding.
This is to give you an idea about the map, essentially, of the safe house. They're bringing these details for you of the neighborhood. This is the Sherpur neighborhood, Zawahiri's safe house, and like it's being pointed out very clearly that this is in a posh Kabul neighborhood where Zawahiri was killed. This was a drone strike. So without any boots on the ground, America has managed to achieve this. Zawahiri was hiding in the safe house of this Pak terror stooge and Afghan minister Haqqani Sept. The neighborhood housing, the safe house, is merely meters from the erstwhile what used to be the U.S. Embassy. In fact, it is being said that it's actually a walking distance from the U.S., what used to be the U.S. Embassy.
India Today spoke with Voice of America correspondent a little while back on how Al-Qaeda chief was killed by an RX-9 missile, which is also called as a Hellfire missile. A warheadless missile slices through its target but does not explode. Listen in as he explains.
Yes, this was a drone that was firing what are called Hellfire missiles, according to sources. And what these Hellfires are capable of doing, they're sort of like giant blades or scissors, have you, where they use kinetic energy. It's not a big explosion, and that's how they were able to take him out while he was standing on the balcony without killing anybody else.
Let's bring you the details as far as the Hellfire missile is concerned. It's a non-explosive missile. We're getting you this image right here, equipped with 6 razor-like blades as well. You can see that through its target, but it slices through its target. But it does not explode. Air-to-surface missile. And what else can it do? Let's bring that on your screens at the moment. It can be launched from the air, sea, ground, weighs about 45 kilograms, and that's the weight of this missile on your screens. Let's tell you a little about the range as well of this missile. It varies from 500 meters to 11 kilometers. Taliban's close ties with al-Qaeda is an open secret to the world. Right after al-Zawahiri was killed in US airstrike in Kabul, Taliban condemned the attack. The house al-Zawahiri was in when he was killed was owned by a top aide to senior Taliban leader Sirajuddin Haqqani, who is also a Pakistan stooge. Remember, the dreaded terror group Haqqani network tried to conceal that al-Qaeda leader who was killed in US drone strike was at safe house in Kabul. Al-Qaeda chief al-Zawahiri took a keen interest in terror group's expansion in India through Al-Qaeda in Indian subcontinent offshoot. Zawahiri had earlier waded into Karnataka hijab row as well. Zawahiri had released a video in April focusing on hijab controversy raging in campuses in Karnataka, which he claims has exposed the reality of Hindu India and the deception of its democracy. He also hailed activist Muskan, backing her stance for rights of hijab. Zawahiri called Muskan his sister, and he wrote a poem praising her courage. The terrorist said that he was made aware of Muskan Khan's actions through social media. He accused the government of allegedly mistreating Muslims who are living in the country. He asked Muslims in India to react to the hijab controversy as well.